Right, what I've done here is I've mixed all my ingredients together, and what I'm going to do now is get some oil, cover the dough with oil, and I'm going to let it rest for at least 2 hours, preferably in a warm place. So you make sure you coat the whole dough with oil, make sure it's completely covered. Once I feel it's covered, I'll get some cling film and I'll put some cling film over the bowl to cover it, and then I'll leave it to rest. Right, I'm leaving it to rest under the sun. Right, my dough is ready. This is what it should look like. Right, once I've brought my dough in, I'll be kneading it for at least 5 to 6 minutes. So make sure you put plenty of flour while you are kneading, and you'll feel this lovely soft texture. See, while I'm kneading it, you can see the dough expanding at the same time because the yeast is still working within the dough. So the yeast is actually doing its job. So you keep kneading until you have a nice fluffy dough like this. Right, now I am ready to actually roll the pizza. So make sure you make your ball first. You have to make sure you get a nice round ball. So when you roll it, it'll be a lot easier if the ball is round. Make sure you've got enough flour to coat the actual dough, and you press it down with your fingers. The more you press it, the better it is. I prefer pressing more than rolling the actual dough. Right, you keep rolling, making sure you've got enough flour to cover your dough because you don't want your dough to stick underneath. At this stage, you can roll the pizza thin, or you can leave it a little bit thick, so it's up to you how thick you want your pizza base. Right, firstly you apply the tomato paste. I'm using tinned tomatoes as I had run out of tomato paste, so I thought I'd use tinned tomato. It does the same job. So you make sure you spread it out evenly around the whole pizza. Normally I do use the tomato paste, but I don't have any left at home, so just improvise. Think of what other ingredients you've got at home. So I had a tin of chopped tomatoes, so I'm using that instead. So make sure you spread it evenly all around the pizza. Right, if you're wondering which tomato puree paste I'm talking about, this is what it looks like. Right, I've had some leftover chicken, so I shredded it all up and I'm putting that on now. So I've tried to fill in all the gaps possible. One thing I like about pizza, if you've got leftover food, you can always add that onto the pizza. Okay, so now I'll be adding some sweet corn as my vegetable. So spread it evenly around the whole pizza, making sure all the gaps are filled. I do like my sweet corn, so I tend to put a lot of sweet corn on my pizza. Once I'm happy with that, I'll be adding in my cheese. I mean, you can add the cheese on before you add your vegetables. Normally I do that, but I completely forgot to put the cheese on first, so it doesn't matter. Just carry on as normal, add your cheese on top. Making sure you cover all your toppings. Right, my pizza is ready to be baked in the oven. Right, I've transferred my pizza over onto my oven tray, and now I've decided to add some olives to the pizza. Okay, before you put your pizza onto the base, make sure you grease the tray first before you add the pizza on. So once it's cooked, it's easier to take off. And now I am putting on some onions. Make sure when you cut your onions, you cut them very thinly. Once your pizza is baked, this is what it should look like. For the ingredients, I need some soy sauce, crushed chilies and some honey. add in 3 tablespoons of oil. Then you add in your crushed chilies. Then you add in a few splashes of your soya sauce. And now you'll be adding in your honey. Right, you might be wondering why I haven't added in any salt in my cooking. The soya sauce itself is very salty, hence the reason I did not add any salt in the marinade. Right, once your ingredients are in the pan, make sure you mix all your ingredients, making sure it's all infused together. So keep mixing until your honey melts. Okay, now you can start adding in your salmon, laying all the salmon around the marinade, and cook it on low heat. Right, at this stage you can put the heat up slightly and you can see the salmon is sizzling now, so it's cooking lovely. Okay, I've turned my salmon over now and you can see the marinade, how it's infused and coloured the whole salmon in. Looks very pretty, doesn't it? Right, my salmon has been cooking for at least 5 minutes in total, so it's more or less done now. Right, my salmon is all cooked. You can serve it with roast potatoes and some boiled vegetables, a healthy option.